generator guru, and today I'm going to teach you how to test your AVR and your alternator. Quite often what happens with these generators, Chinese ones especially like these, is suddenly one day you'll go get the generator at your shed and it won't produce any power. Engine's running fine, but absolutely no power's coming out of the regulator. You'll know this because there's nothing coming out of the voltmeter. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to test what part is not producing electricity. So from this we'll decide whether you need to replace the brushes, replace the AVR, replace the windings, which is the outside of the alternator, or the rotor, otherwise known as the stator, which is the inside of the alternator. Okay, I'll show you how to do that. So what you want to do first, turn the generator end on so you're looking at the end of the alternator. Now what we're going to do is we're going to remove these two bolts, 6 times the screws. So we'll need time to remove those. Either a screwdriver, put up a crosshead, or a size 7 or 8 bolt. As well as undoing the end, you're also going to need a multimeter and the 2 prongs for checking it. Now to use the multimeter for this test, obviously put the black into the black area. Oops. And the red into the volts hertz. There. You'll then be turning it on to the V with a little squiggle. And that tests AC volts. So first thing we're going to do, take off the end. Now inside this one you'll see, this is the AVR, which is normally a black plastic or a metal casing. They can be half moon shaped, they can be square shaped, they can be many different shapes. At the top here at 12 o'clock, these are the brushes, which I'll show you in a minute. You've got the rotor which goes around the windings which goes around the outside, and the rotor and stator which goes through the center. Now to test this, what we need to do is first unhook the AVR, which are usually just clipped on. Unhook the 2 tabs off of the brushes. The left one is always positive, so you may want to either take a picture or mark up which one's positive. In this case, this one's actually already marked up. I'm going to remove the AVR so it's easier to see what I'm doing. Now, this is the AVR. Okay. What we want to do is we want to start up the machine now, and we want to test across the brushes. So that's the positive tab and the negative tab. And these represent the windings. L1, L2, R1, R2. Just to remember, that's one set of windings, which will in this case produce 110 volts. This is another set which also produces 110 volts. If you're in an area where it's 220 or 240, it runs in series or in parallel, depending on how much you want to actually get out of it. Okay, we take our multimeter. Right now what we normally do is start up the machine. Okay, the first test that we want to do with your voltmeter, that V with a little squiggly, that's volts AC. Start up the generator. Your first test is going to be the brushes. Here are the brushes here. Now, remember, positive is always on the left. So as it's running, with the AVR disconnected, you're testing 1, 2, like that. Can you see what I'm doing? One side then the other. You should be getting about 5 volts. Definitely not very good if you're getting beyond 10. You then want to test L1 and L2. They sometimes have different names. L1, L2. Again, you're looking for about 5 volts. R1 and R2. Again, you're looking for about 5 volts. And reading number 4 is L1 and R1. Now, if you're getting more on the brushes, then the chances are that your rotor is gone. But what you need to do is you need to remove your brushes and inspect them. Make sure you don't drop anything in there. Yeah. See with these brushes? There's still a bit of play in them. Quite often when these below, they'll melt the whole outside. Okay. If the brushes are okay, then it's your rotor that will need replacing. If on the other hand, you're not getting the right readings from your windings, unfortunately there's nothing we can do about that. It's a new set of windings. To order a new set of windings or a new rotor starter, what we'll need to do is we will need to take the alternator apart. Please contact me for that video. You can drop to about 3 volts, maybe 2.5, and that should be rectified by your AVR. If you're getting 5 volts across all of them, within those amounts that I just said, then what you really need to do is you need to replace your AVR. Now your AVR is a very important piece of kit. It is actually there to protect not only your generator, but all of your equipment. AVR stands for Automatic Voltage Regulator. So, if you put on something that's too much for your generator to handle, this will blow to protect your alternator, which is, by the way, the most expensive part of the whole generator. If there's a surge from your windings, for whatever reason, and this notices your surge, it will blow to protect any equipment you have beyond the generator. Now, as the generator goes around, you get peaks and troughs, which is called the sine wave. Generators like this, the sine wave should be a little bit like this. Inverter generators are very flat, so they're perfect for expensive equipment, LCD TVs, filming equipment, things like that. Or you can also get ones with capacitors. If you have one with a capacitor and you need to learn how to test that, have a look at my other video, how to test your capacitor. That's me, Styles from Generator Guru. Hope I can be of assistance. Speak to you soon. Bye.